Imagine flipping on your TV, settling in for your usual dose of sharp wit and deadpan humor, and finding Kat Timpf's bright smile cutting through the screen, only to learn that in the span of a single weekend, this 36-year-old dynamo not only gave birth to her first child but also discovered she had stage 0 breast cancer. It sounds like a cruel twist of fate, almost too dramatic for a headline, yet for the quick-witted co-host of Gutfeld and frequent guest on The Five, this was painfully real. Behind the on-air sass and clever retorts lay an agonizing journey through fear, surgery, and raw vulnerability, all unfolding while the world watched. Kat Timpf was born in Detroit on October 29, 1988, and honed her classical education at Hillsdale College before launching a writing career that led to bylines at the National Review by 2013. In 2015, Fox News recognized her razor-sharp commentary and brought her aboard as a contributor. Over the next several years she became a fixture on The Five and, when Gutfeld went primetime, earned a permanent co-hosting role. By 2025, her mix of humor and insight had amassed her a net worth near $2 million and 500,000 followers on social media. Off-camera, she married Cameron Frisha, a veteran-turned-banker, in 2021, and it was her journey as a new wife and mother that would make her bravado all the more inspiring. When Kat announced on February 25, 2025, that she had just welcomed her son and learned of her breast cancer diagnosis roughly 15 hours earlier, the online world stopped scrolling. She posted a photo of her newborn gripping her finger, alongside the stark admission, "No punchlines this time, just real life." Fans flocked to her comments, sharing prayers, virtual hugs, and offers of support. Though her signature humor peeked through, she quipped that the baby came with an unexpected gift, a cancer diagnosis. The post was unmistakably serious, a moment of unfiltered honesty from someone we'd grown accustomed to seeing juggle sarcasm and news headlines. Visualize the scene: a labor ward filled with anticipation, nurses monitoring contractions, ultrasound scheduled at the last minute, all while medical staff prepare her for scans that would decide her treatment path. In the space between pushing a new life into the world and waiting for test results, Kat found herself confronting mortality head-on. Photographs shared on X and Instagram captured her exhausted but triumphant smile moments after giving birth, while others showed her in a crisp hospital gown, and 4-line visible, eyes reflecting a mix of joy and deep-seated worry. Just weeks later, on March 20, 2025, she underwent a double mastectomy at Memorial Sloan Kettering. No TV cameras were allowed, but Kat's own updates filled the gap: selfies from her hospital bed, captions reading "outpatient surgery?" more like "outpatient of emotion surgery," and candid reflections on what it felt like to wake up without the contours she'd known all her adult life. She insisted that catching the cancer at stage 0 was a blessing in disguise, even as she described the operation as devastating but necessary. Her transparency turned a private struggle into a public reminder of the life-saving power of early detection. True to form, Kat found a bit of levity even in the darkest hours. A few days after her surgery, she shared a picture of a cake made by fellow Fox personality Jessica Tarlov, emblazoned with "Tit for Timpf" in pink frosting. The gesture, equal parts irreverent and heartwarming, encapsulated her approach: meet hardship with humor, defy stigma with a punchline. She paired that post with a close-up of her bandaged chest and a wink at her followers, proving that comedy can coexist with grief and that resilience doesn't require you to wipe the smile off your face. Long before her cancer battle, Kat had faced a different kind of violence. In July 2017, she was canvassing a Brooklyn campus for a libertarian candidate when an enraged bystander flung a beer bottle at her head. She ducked just enough to escape a serious injury, but the memory of shattered glass and a sudden senseless attack stayed with her. On subsequent broadcasts, she described how that moment cracked her sense of security, forcing her to recalibrate her relationship with the public and the idea that a microphone could sometimes attract more danger than cheers. As her profile grew, so did the unwanted attention. Stalkers left lurking at DC book signings and threw objects during late-night appearances. Once she revealed on Fox News that a persistent fan had left menacing voicemails on her home phone, she joked about hiring a skeptic squad to greet overly enthusiastic well-wishers. Beneath the wisecracks, though, lay the reality that fame can invite obsession, and that every handshake or selfie request carries the faint risk of crossing the line into intrusion. Grief visited her family twice more. In November 2020, Kat announced on social media the death of her father, Daniel Timpf, after a prolonged illness. She took a brief hiatus from Gutfeld, returning to the screen with tears in her eyes but a steely resolve to honor his memory by living fully. Less than a year later, news broke that her mother had survived a brain aneurysm. Between filming segments and writing columns, Kat juggled frequent flights to Michigan, posting a selfie from her rental car's back seat and quipping, "If road trip therapy were a thing." When her mother pulled through surgery, the relief that washed over Kat was palpable, another reminder of how quickly joy and heartache can intertwine. Through it all, her fans rallied. Comments poured in on every platform, prayers for Kat and family, warrior mom, she's an inspiration. One viewer, age 77, wrote that Kat was a tough kid and predicted that her newborn would bring boundless joy. Others shared their own survivor stories, turning her posts into a makeshift healing circle. Some donated to breast cancer research in her honor, while many more used her story as motivation to schedule their own checkups. In a digital age often mocked for its superficiality, Kat's openness fostered genuine community. Colleagues at Fox were equally effusive. Greg Gutfeld raised his glass to her on air, "You're kicking ass, Kat, as always." Kennedy Montgomery, filling in during her recovery, called her amazing and pledged to keep her seat warm until she was back. But the true testament to Kat's impact lies beyond TV studios, in the awareness she's sparked and the lives she's touched. She's continued to host awareness panels, raise money for medical centers, and use her platform to demystify the cancer journey, all while maintaining the sardonic charm her audience adores. Kat Timpf's story is not a one-off tragedy or a neatly wrapped inspirational tale. It's a testament to what it means to live fully, to laugh in the face of fear, and to keep fighting when every instinct screams for comfort. From a near-fatal assault to the operating room at a world-renowned cancer center, from losing a father to shepherding a newborn through her own scarred chest, she has weathered storms that would break most people, but she refuses to be defined by them. Instead, she wields her vulnerabilities like a comedian's prop, transforming pain into purpose. If her journey speaks to you, honor it not with mere sympathy but with action. Schedule that routine exam you've been postponing. Reach out to someone walking through their own medical battle and offer genuine support.